Hey guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Last minute, but we're gonna try to keep the schedule going. So, for anyone who didn't see our meeting last week, this is a deep dive talk where we kind of talk to members of the Vibranium team or members of the community and kind of just go deeper on a certain topic. So today we got Garrett. He is the well. I'll let Garrett introduce himself in a little bit while people keep coming in.
Word. How's it going, man?
It's going good, going good. Probably won't get too many people tonight, but we just want to keep these videos on schedule. So I'm sure people will be hearing from you again.
Word. Yeah, definitely.
How you been?
Noise in the background. 1 second.
Cool. We got a few people in here. But I figured today, like, we can kind of go over some basics of the actual technical stats for Vibranium and kind of the way it was built. And then this will be a video that we'll have up, for a while that we can reference later. Because I think a lot of people haven't seen this before, and they've probably only read it in our white paper. So we're kind of going to break it down a little bit, make it a little bit more simple. But yeah, I guess, Garrett, if maybe you could just start off by introducing yourself, your title, and kind of just a little bit about your background in tech and how you got started.
Nope, sounds good. Hey, folks. I am Garrett. Garrett Carey. I'm the head of tech at Vibranium. RJ and I were the sort of original two, like the founding team members of this project. My background is in tech. I started off just like building websites when I was a kid, and have been sort of in some form of internet technology for most of my life since then. Arjun and I went to college together at Wharton, so we both have a business background. But after that, I spent almost 10 years as a product manager at various startups in New York. And for those who aren't familiar, like a product manager has like slightly different roles depending on how big the company is. But for small startups, product manager generally oversees the development teams, so all the engineers. And so I spent a lot of time working on building these web apps. And during that period, I picked up a lot of programming myself, and eventually sort of got up my skills as a web developer on my own right, and have been working on sort of like coding and building projects on the side for a while now. Around 2016, 2017, I got into cryptocurrency. I've been sort of like doing research and getting myself involved and acclimated and learning more about the different projects. I was an investor relatively early on, and during that time, I found out that the language that was primarily used at the time to write blockchain applications, which is called Solidity, is very similar to JavaScript, which is my background. And so I kind of got into it and started building projects on my own. RJ, who I've been sort of kind of jamming ideas with since college days, was the main person who I talked to once I got into this process, and we sort of like got back and forth about what the potential was of this technology and what what we could add to it, add to the environment, and contribute to us and the kinds of people we care about. And that sort of was the initial seed of what was then called Sway and what is now a large part of Vibranium. At this point, I am currently manager of content strategy at Snapchat, and I head up technology at Vibranium in my free time, which is to say I have no free time.
Yeah, this is definitely definitely a labor of love right now, and we've just been making such big strides. I want to go back to one thing. I don't want to breeze over it. You said you started in crypto in 2015.
So I started in 2016. Actually, my first exposure to it was much earlier because, like I said, I was managing developers, and one of them was an engineer who got into it around 2013, and he had told me that he was mining Bitcoin from the work computers, like after hours when everybody went to sleep.
Yeah.
And and he probably made about, I don't know, I want to say $7,000 at the time, which I don't have the exact exchange rate from 2013 to now, but that's probably, I don't know, in the six figures, low seven figures. And he made $7,000 mining it, and then there was a crash. I think that was when Mt. Gox crashed, and it
Wow.
like 3,000. And once it got back up to 6,000, he sold at a loss of $1,000. What was was probably worth now, like, I don't know, probably a million, I want to say. So that was my first, and and seeing that, I was definitely like, wow, this is interesting, and it's like cool technology, but I'm not going to get my financial futures involved in this because I've seen this guy be I saw some pretty crazy stuff happen during that period. But I got back into it around 2016 and started researching, and that was when we were really starting to get a lot more um, depth of product feature sets and sort of breadth of applications available on these platforms. And so pretty early on, I was just a student of like how these things work and what they're for, how they differ from each other, and like what their potential was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think if anyone, if anyone's familiar with crypto lore and the history, that Mount Gox hack was that's like one of the founding stories of crypto. And, I just think being in it that long, I got deep into it kind of shortly after you. It was 2 years of you kind of telling me about it before I was actually started learning. And, I think seeing it from then, which, it was at least 5 or 6 years ago till now, there's a lot of things that have obviously changed in the crypto space. It's evolved. It's gotten a lot more mainstream. So I would like to kind of hear your perspective from both the technical side and just the overall, experience of crypto. Kind of what have you seen change since then, and sort of how do you think about sort of the best practices you've learned watching all these other projects, and how do you are you bringing that to Vibranium now?
Yeah, so I think it's in many ways gotten safer, but it's also in many ways gotten a lot more risky. And that is because there was after people kind of saw the transformational potential of Ethereum and what the concept of that kind of platform like offered for sort of the future of technology. We had this sort of almost like a Cambrian explosion of other sort of riffs on that technology, and getting into that fairly early on and investing in those things, it was definitely fun because we got to sort of see those things come up and make some money off of it. But I think that we're still in a phase of just a lot of people kind of throwing their hat in the ring in terms of like we figured out how to make a platform that allows us to run applications in the blockchain, and so there's just an insane amount of projects coming out that are just doing that again, and doing it in sometimes in incrementally better ways and sometimes not. And then we figured out tokens, and we unlocked DeFi, and all these things started to occur. But those also caused a lot of like me tooing and copying, and so we have a lot of projects that are coming out that are not really adding anything to the sort of overall trajectory of the like, not to sound edgy, but like the revolution of technology that's happening right now. And so it's gotten harder to see the ones that are actually sort of pushing us forward because there are so many copies and so many just like sort of incremental or marginal changes. And so as an investor, it's hard to like pick what you're gonna pay attention to or be focused on because it's just so easy to jump in that there's so much duplication and so much noise. Also, as I'm sure there's just a huge profusion of scams and coins that are just not really trying to offer anything, and they're just trying to sort of make a quick buck. And so I think the market is getting very noisy with this stuff, and it's making it very hard to really see through to what the signal is in terms of where we're going. As for the best practices for Vibranium, one of the things that we've talked about a lot, and we've been talking about for years, is trying to make sure that what we are focusing on is one, something that is going to create unique value, and two, something that is going to be applicable and usable, and not just like not just an idea, not just another coin to hold, but something that that has a specific purpose and serves that purpose. And so a lot of our tokenomics and our sort of game theory and our economic design has been towards trying to figure out, one, what is the most useful thing for this project to do, and two, how do we make sure that we design all the experiences and all the incentives and all the intended behaviors to serve that purpose.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think I'll just add to that because I was part of those conversations too. Seeing all these projects, you have the projects that offer the huge, big solution. We're going to make the new, a whole new Twitch, and it's going to be backed by this, or the new crypto-backed YouTube, or the crypto-backed Netflix, whatever it may be. These are projects, they're trying to take on the incumbents using a technology that is very young and not agile and not up to par yet. So I think one of the things that we, and definitely you and I, talked about a lot was, from a technological standpoint, we need to focus on something that is specific to blockchain, that can only be done with blockchain tech, and also something that's simple enough where we're not trying to build, we're not 15 years ahead of where the technology is.
Yeah,
we want to really capture stuff where it is. And if you look at like big, you had the internet for years before you had Google, and what Google did, they didn't find some new technology. They just applied math and a different reasoning approach to search, which had already been around for like 20 years. So I think that was one of the things that we always sort of kept in mind. And we also wanted to make sure like we were building something that we could build effectively. So would you mind going a little bit into kind of the simple top level breakdown of what the smart contracts are that are powering the whole network, and just I think from the perspective of building with the first principles, like the building blocks of a monetary system?
Yeah, I think what you said about it being simple is important. Like, we've sort of been going down this road for a while, but like I'm sure you remember in our early conversations, one of the things that was part of our philosophy was like, it was okay to build something small as long as it was important and useful. Like, it didn't have to, change the whole world. What we ended up with in the end was something that we do think, can, change the world a little bit, and that's fine. But like, we didn't start off with that. We didn't try to tackle all the world's problems at once. Like, I think our initial conversations were about what do we know and what are our ideas for how to fix it. And what that came up with was just one part of the system that we build now. The thing that I said was called Sway. And sort of the focus of Sway was to, I'm going to go into a bit of history. I know you didn't ask me to, but I'll sort of work my way up to the smart contracts context. But what Sway was supposed to do was to acknowledge the fact that the people who move the most culture on the internet are not the people who get the most value out of the platforms and the environs and the applications that use that culture, or that present that culture to people. And so, we talked a lot about how there are little black girls making dances on TikTok, and then the people who get famous for it are don't look like the ones who made it, and are the ones who are sort of already part of the establishment of TikTok. But more importantly, the ones who are really getting the value out of it are the people who own the platform. And we talked about sort of athletes wearing sneakers and making a bunch of money for Nike, and sort of drawing a line from that all the way back to like, getting into deep history, about, sharecroppers and like, a lot of the history of the Western world is the people who are providing the value not actually um, being the ones who are rewarded for it. And the reason for that is because of ownership. And so what is important about blockchain is it allows us to build systems where we can make conscious decisions about how value is moved around. And what that does is it allows us to give ownership back to people who deserve it, in our opinion, or to give value back to the people who create it, I think is a better way of saying it. And so we built Sway, which was a mechanism for better tracking how influential people were on the internet. And by influential, we mean we're sort of moving away from the standard definition of influential, which is like, having the most followers, and moving towards the definition of someone who, when they share something, when they share a culture or an idea with people, other people will listen and adopt it and act on it. And so we made a way to track that and to reward it, so that when people are effective at sort of like moving culture, they get this token. And we built the system such that anybody who wanted access to this influence, like once we had enough influencers on this platform and they were all sort of doing this work to get these tokens, they would be shareholders in the network. And so anybody who wanted to get access to them would have to buy the token in order to pay them to get access to their influence. And as a result, the value of the tokens that they already hold would go up. And so they become owners in the network that they're contributing to. Because when you post, something to Facebook or Instagram, you're not making any money off that for the most part. The people who own the platform are. But we wanted to build a platform that was owned by and paid the people who generate the value within it. So that was the initial seed. And from there, we got Derek involved, and I think he's on the call. Maybe he'll comment, and a bunch of other really smart people, and sort of realized that the system that we built that was meant to be that was meant to sort of like shift some of the power back to the people who we think deserve it, is one part of something that is much bigger, where certain groups of people have been traditionally excluded from access to the things that make wealth and financial independence possible. So access to capital, most importantly, access to exposure. That the shortest way of saying it is the rich get rich. Like people who already have money can get the money to start a new business, but those who don't and who are not part of sort of the central group or the establishment can't get access to that. And so being able to get paid for your influence became one part of a larger system that included other well, most notably being able to gain access to capital based on community vote, and being able to have a platform to do commerce. And so those are kind of the three major pillars of Vibranium. And they are the smart contracts that you're referring to. I've been talking forever. I'll end this question in a second. But I think how the system works in general is the whole thing is powered by the Vibranium token, which is sort of like the base smart contract that sort of runs the entire system. And then on top of that is those three pillars. So the first, which is called Vfluence, which what we used to call Sway, is allows you to promote content and get rewarded for it. And the sort of purpose of the smart contract is to track the allocation of attention, or track the proportion of attention that has been generated by each of the people who participate in this promotion, and then reward them accordingly with the token. The next part is finance, which is it offers small business loans that are denominated in the token to members of the community, and the decision of who gets those loans, whose loans are approved, is also decided by the community. So people, so anybody who holds the tokens can vote on who gets capital, and that sort of takes this decision away from banks and puts it more towards the people who uh, are, have exercised ownership of our platform. The third is a commerce platform that allows anybody who has started a business using the Vibranium, the VFinance platform to sell goods and services for Vibranium or for other currencies. And so the basic idea is that it's kind of like a self-perpetuating system where you can get on the platform, you know, sort of put in an application for a loan. You can convince the community that what you want to do is important. You can get that capital. You can use that capital to start a business, and then apply that or use our commerce platform to run that business. And then once you are sort of selling goods and services, you can then use Vfluence to hire people to endorse you, and those people get paid appropriately for how much they do. Very long answer
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I mean, and I think that that's a long answer, but it's also a simple answer because, you know, the smart contracts, what we have built is the three main contracts that are, you know, or three main pillars that are supported by this value engine, which is the smart contract, which is rewarding people based on how much attention they bring to content. Yeah, Lance, I see. Yeah, you can definitely ask a question. Yeah, I didn't even get to say that at the start, but if anyone wants to just ask a question,
yeah.
um, this is more of a forum. It's not just a talk. I kind of wanted to get some intro stuff out of the way, but yeah, feel free to ask a question. Just sort of wanting to go over the basics of the tech and how the system functions, because I think it's a lot easier to kind of hear it instead of having to read through the white paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one thing I also want to highlight there, and why from the start we wanted to build this different from other crypto projects, is we wanted to have something that had value from the start. So a lot of these projects, they try to sell you, oh, you'll be able to buy X, Y, and Z, you'll be able to, you know, do this. But I think one of the things we have with Vfluence is attention and influence is valuable right now. You don't need to do much to create the value there. So if I say I can have 100 people see your content, you get the value right away. Okay, so the question is, aside from applying for a loan, will there be people part of the community that will be able to assist with service such as accounting, marketing, etc.? Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of answers to that. So we are actively, you know, we're hiring people for our team. So that's something, if you want to reach out to the Instagram or Discord or Telegram, we're actively hiring, but the system is built to be very open-ended. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. What was
Yeah.
that?
I just want to, like, as for like the broader network, I think some of that is sort of built into the sort of the primary features of the network. So things like marketing, like we're building the whole Vfluence platform to allow you to use that as your marketing platform. You know, the sort of basic workflow on Vfluence is, you know, you have something that you want to promote, say a piece of content or a product that you're selling or whatever, services, doesn't matter. You can post that onto Vfluence and then put up tokens, and others will use their own networks to promote that product or service in exchange for a proportionate amount of the tokens that you've put up. And so some of the services that you're talking about are sort of inbuilt into the platform as like native features. That said, though, the commerce platform, that third pillar, is going to allow you to sell services as well. So the ones that are not sort of like native features of the platform, it'll be entirely possible for someone to get on and offer those services to other members of the platform or off the platform as well. Sorry to cut you off right there.
Yeah, no problem. I think I might have actually misinterpreted the question. I think what they were asking is, outside of loans, are we offering any other sort of services to help grow like a business? And I think, yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of what you said, where the Vfluence network, it's for people who hold VBX token. So if the loan is given to you in VBX, that VBX is immediately um, can immediately be turned into marketing and advertising. So that's one thing there. And we're also, yeah, as far as influencers and creatives go, we want to build a sort of stable of creatives who can help grow other people who are on the network and have everyone using the same token. So we will eventually be gradually gathering a group of people who are accepting VBX, who have a variety of skills. So the network will be supporting itself. So
Yep.
outside just the loans, once you have the VBX, that gives you access to all the other people in the network who might have something of value. Okay, and yeah, Maya said, this is a great question. So how can I make money as an influencer on the network?
Yep.
So the way,
Yep.
I'll quick
Yeah.
intro.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so the way it works is if you're on Vfluence, you will be considered a Vfluencer, and advertisers will post, not just advertisers, but anyone who wants to get reach from you. We will essentially have a feed of content to choose from, and then there'll be bounties attached to each piece of content. So you might see a Nike ad that has a bounty of 100 VBX tokens. And as you share that ad or you share that piece of content, or it could be a song, it could be a link to someone's, Etsy store or their Vibranium store, whatever, it will, you'll get paid based on how much you share that content. So it's really simple. The same way you browse any sort of social network and you're looking at videos and then you click one, send it to your, group chat. That's how it's going to work for Vfluence.
Yep, that's exactly right. And just to sort of to walk through how that process will work, for like an individual experience, like say that you are a fashion influencer, you could log on as a Vfluencer and then narrow down the category to fashion bounties, and you might see 10 or 15 or 100 things being posted that all have different rewards for fashion, and you can choose the one that is giving the highest reward or the one that is like has the least competition so that you can get more of it, because what you earn is proportionate to um, uh, how much of the total promotion you contribute. And so there are strategies where you can focus on the less popular ones so that you can get more of the total bounty, or you can just choose the ones that align the most with your own personal taste, so that when you send it to your friends, you're sending them something that you actually like and can stand behind. You'll have options for how to do that. And once you sort of like share this with your network, and then people in your network interact with the thing that is being promoted, then yeah, you will get paid out proportionally to the amount of interactions that you contributed relative to everybody else who promoted.
And to kind of compare that to how it works right now for a lot of influencers, the metrics you have to use to kind of prove, whatever to these like larger brands, they're looking at, just looking at follower count. They're not really looking at the impact you might have. So one of the big things that I've always wanted to make sure was included was this idea that there are tons of influential people who aren't necessarily the biggest influencers because of kind of the way social media kind of mirrors the real world, where you have a lot of this sort of, you have these smaller groups that are hyper generative and creative, but you have these larger kind of just these mainstream people, like who will have the larger follower count, like Addison Rae, for example, massive following. It's not because she's, the center of creativity. It's the forces at play. So the idea is that if you are someone who's influential in your own network, you can earn a lot and grow. So that's been at the core. So it's really for a new wave of influencer who is going to know their worth, and as they share more, you're going to have this real metric that is going to actually matter a lot more than just the generic follower count or how many people saw this post.
Yeah, and like no knock on people who have tons of followers. Like
Right. Yeah, no, we want you too, but
like I mean, I work at Snapchat. I appreciate the value of like the Addison Rae types, but I think what RJ was sort of getting at is that like you can have 1 million followers and tell all 1 million of those followers to do something, and only 500 people will listen to you, and somebody else could have 5,000 followers and tell all of those followers to do something, and all 5,000 of them will do it. And so when we say influencer right now, what we mean is someone who has a lot of ears. Like they have a lot of reach. They can get a lot of people to see something, but it doesn't mean that they can get any of them to act on it. And so we sort of want to shift the focus towards people who can get more people to act or more people to care about what it is they're sharing, rather than the ones who just have the biggest platform.
Hmm.
And there are those who have both. There are people who have 1 million followers and can get a large portion of them to listen. But we just don't want to assume that one means the other.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I think also the thing that is different is we're giving the influencers themselves the sort of buffet of content to choose from. So it's not going to be this forced thing where you have this, this sports, you have an athlete who's promoting some game that they've never played. It's like everyone sees that. They're like, all right, well, why are you promoting this mobile game? It kind of is like transparent.
Yeah.
But I want to give influencers a buffet of content to share that matches what they would just share in real life, because the bottom line is, like, we share content, we're driving traffic to all these different sources, and that's for free. Like if I send Garrett a YouTube video or a TikTok video, he opens the app and they get what they want. So it's an interesting, we want to make sure we kind of like start at the ground level and get all that value. Yeah, if there are any other questions, we could just throw them in whenever. But this was definitely a lighter group because it was short notice. So this will be saved. People will be able to watch it whenever they want. But I guess one more question for you, Garrett, would be just in general, as someone who's been in crypto for like 7 years, which is crazy to think about, and no solidity, and he's in high demand. Like, that is a very coveted skill set now that you developed very early. What do you think about the future of crypto? Obviously, how are you sort of applying that vision to what you are bringing to fruition in Vibranium?
I think that, like, it's almost hard um, to grasp the full scope of what this technology is going to do for us in the future. And there's one anecdote, which is that when the internet was first created, it was made by professors at universities, and the primary sort of function of the prototypical internet was to just send academic papers back and forth between different universities, and so it was it was recreating something that we already had. It just did it slightly better. So, like, they had fax at the time. Like, you could have faxed a paper, but the internet did it a bit faster and a bit more easily. There was also mail, which fax was, again, an incremental improvement on. And it took us a while, maybe 10 years before we had this sort of like this sea change in our understanding of what this technology had done for us, and where we moved beyond just like sending emails to realizing that the internet can change fundamentally how society works. That the internet means that every human being can be in contact with every other human being at all times, that you can contact anybody that you know from anywhere. It means that you can pull up a map of your current location and navigate to where you're trying to go. It means that there's a single repository of all human knowledge in Wikipedia. That there's a single repository of like almost all human video in YouTube, that you can just watch video forever, watch whatever you want forever, and never run out until you die. Like, these are things that we hadn't wrapped our mind around when the internet was created, because we were like, oh, sick, like a better fax, and I feel like we're in that phase for blockchain, which is that we're still at the point that we are, for the most part, just making fancy money. And we already have money. Money already exists, and this money is better in some ways, but and it's worse in some ways. It's slower, and so sometimes it's less safe and stuff. But I think the industry right now is a bit myopic in that we still haven't been able to expand our imagination beyond just like fancy money towards the fact that trustless systems can fundamentally change how society works. So I talked about how we can, the blockchain allows us to build platforms that allow us to make conscious decisions about how value is moved. That's the first part of what's important about it. The second part of what's important about it is that they're built in a way that there is no single authority that has control over them. That everybody involved has a little bit of authority, and nobody has absolute authority. And it means that nobody has to trust anybody else. I don't have to trust the bank. I don't have to trust the politician. I don't have to trust anybody. I don't have to trust the CEO. I just have to believe that the code is written correctly. And that's what has been so exciting for me as a developer and as a technologist, which is that once we sort of wrap our mind around what that means, we can challenge anything. Like any kind of system that works right now, we can say, what if it didn't rely on this person? What if it didn't rely on this person who can decide to raise commissions so that they get richer, or who can decide to remove the posts of people who they don't like, or censor things that they don't agree with. Like, what if we could rebuild these systems in a way that nobody has control except for the entire community? And what does that allow us to do? And what tyrannies does that allow us to evade or elide? And so I think that what we're trying to do with Vibranium is to find ways to challenge entire systems and not just give fancy money. We're trying to say, there are big problems in the world. People don't have access to capital. People aren't rewarded for the work that they do. People are being used as products by platforms that profit off of them but don't give them anything back. And we have the opportunity to just change that, to make it so that, the people who deserve attention get it, to make it so that the people who deserve a chance at wealth and success get it, to make it so that the people who deserve exposure get it. And so what we're trying to do is expand as many people, other projects are, by the way, we're trying to expand the conception of what blockchain to do beyond fancy money towards this can change the world. And this is one specific way that we want to do it.
That's great. Got a few questions about the influencer piece, and
Right.
I think we have an influencer in the room, someone who would be perfect to bring up on stage. So I'll just give a quick description of Vfluence again. But the idea is it's a two-sided marketplace where people who have content they want to promote and people who are influential in their groups or online or have a large following, where those two people can come together, those two groups, and exchange value. So essentially, if you have content you want to promote, you add a bounty to it, a certain amount of Vibranium token, VBX. You could set it as high as you want. So someone could put a 1,000 VBX bounty, let's just say, $1,000 bounty on a piece of content, and it's target for, I want this to reach 100 people. So let's say you share that content, it gets 500 clicks from your unique link that's generated, you would earn half of that bounty. So you would earn $500 from that. And it's meant to be seamless. It's meant to work on any platform. It's meant to work through text, through Twitter, through YouTube, anywhere you could share a link, which is everywhere on the internet. And it's meant to reward you immediately. So you don't have to go through sort of a deal. You don't have to go with this negotiation thing. You can kind of immediately see something you want to share it, and earn from it. And it's better for both sides, because if I'm an artist and I want to promote my music, I don't want to go through Facebook ads or Instagram. I just want to send it to someone who's going to send it to more people.
Yep.
So that's the basic idea. I'm going to see if I can let TikTok Taj up here. I'd love to hear kind of about your experience as an influencer and kind of hear how this affects you. Let me see if I can get you up. I only brought like 2 people up before. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Taj, if you know how to ask or request to get on stage, that would be great. Let me see.
But yeah, it makes sense for the at least this discussion to focus primarily on the Vfluence portion of it, because we're on Instagram, but this is home with influencers.
Yep.
Like if we were doing this at a bank, then we might be focusing more on V finance. But it might make sense for the next for the next one to just be about influence, like a deep dive just on that portion. Because yeah, I'm sure that people on this platform are quickly invested in that.
Yo,
What's
Yo,
up,
yo,
Doc?
yo. What's good, guys?
what's up? What's up? How much of that did you hear?
I tapped in a little bit before you started talking.
Okay.
So I heard everything you said. I heard a little bit about the vibranium.
Yeah. Do you mind kind of sharing a little bit about yourself? I see you got quite the following, and yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And thank you. I'm TikTok Taj. Tajmir Elliott. My name is TikTok Taj because I started on TikTok. But I just do like funny videos. I guess my thing is I do dance battles against myself, and I slap my feet together on the claps of beats, and that's my thing. I just like making people smile, you know. This that's about it. I don't really do like the trendy stuff, but I kind of do my own thing on here, you know.
That's amazing. That's the 2022. That's the world we're in. That's incredible. So, are you?
Thank you, brother.
Have you ever like? Is this sort of like? Do you see this as your full-time thing? Is this sort of just, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the possibilities in this field are beyond endless. Like you could like just I have friends, social media influencer friends that are getting just. One of my friends is in an HBO. He's in an HBO show now. There's just so many random avenues that can come up of presenting yourself on social media often. So yeah, like it's definitely a full-time thing. Got to put a lot of time into this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing, and you know we love to see when people create their own content and they do their own thing and they get sort of picked up by the HBOs of the world. Like I love HBO, and I think that's always going to be an option, and that'll always be there. But one of the things that we hope for and that we want to do is to make it so that people can like get to the high levels of financial success without even needing anybody like an HBO to decide that they're important. To just
For
like
sure.
do it themselves. And that's kind of like sort of one of the systems that we're trying to disrupt right now.
Yeah.
And you're like you said you don't do the trendy stuff, and you said it like it was a bad thing, but like not doing the trendy stuff means that you're creating your own thing,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
starting trends. Like that's exactly. I mean, that's how trends get started. Like that's where it all comes from. So that's amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's incredible. I'll just a little bit about my background. I was in the music industry for about 8 years as a producer. I worked with a lot of people, and long story short, I really just I always found that people who were comfortable putting themselves out there online,
Mm-hmm.
they success, because nowadays, like, that is sort of the way that's like the biggest achievement ever. And if you're not sort of regularly doing that, making something that's original and putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of change anything. You're not really going to break through. And
Mm.
yeah, I think the thing with Vibranium is we want to make sure people like you who are creative and have that initiative
Yeah.
can find ways to just move stuff around. Because I'm sure, like, if you send someone something who's a follower of yours, they're going to trust just because of who you are and the energy you put out there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so that's incredible. Have you ever like had any sort of uh like promo deals, or do you actually have enough have you done any deals like with
Yeah,
brands?
I've done quite a few. A lot of I've done some promo. Normally, what my thing is, I have different packages for promo. So like, my biggest thing, like I said, is the dance battle. So you want me to do a dance battle? It's said price. I mean, I'm not going to talk all of that on here, but said price. For 15 to 56-second video of me wearing or using your product and incorporating it into a dance battle. A separate price, I'll just make some kind of funny video incorporating your product, service, stuff like that. And yeah, I've had quite a few since I've started. And normally just like it's like, hey, do you promote things? Yeah, here's my packages. Okay, yeah, I would like to do this one. Cool. We're gonna draft up the contract. Here's the PayPal. Boom. You know what I mean? Then you'll have it. I mean, half payment at first. Then once I give you the completed draft, the rest of the payment, and then I post it on my stuff, and it's pretty seamless. I've done it a couple of times.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things with also what we're trying to do is it's not necessarily doesn't have to be alternative, but the
Mm.
idea, this is a social media feed for people like you, for influencers, for people who kind of move culture, who have just that initiative where, if you see something that you want to share with people genuinely, not, you don't have to get paid to promote it, but you
Yeah.
genuinely share something. I always believe that it's people like you who are just more influential. So like in anything, if you go see a movie, I would be more likely to see that. And I think that's sort of the idea. There are people who kind of just, they can move the energy a little bit more,
Mm.
and I think that's, yeah. So that's great. And I'm I just want to. We just hope that we could get you on here and add a little bit of extra revenue to what you're already doing, because it sounds like things are
Oh,
going.
for sure. I'm definitely my father. My father. I mean, I know my father knows your father and everything, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
some background and everything. He's mentioned what you guys have been doing because, I'm starting to try to figure out ways to move my money differently myself because you start making more money, you spend it more as well. So I needed to make money back for me as well. So there's been a lot of things I've been looking into, and my dad mentioned, hey, I know some guys that are. It's like I mean, he mentioned community things and like it's a bunch of guys working together to get an ultimate goal. So I mean, I'm definitely interested. I love community.
yeah.
I mean, I love community work. Like it's a team. Like we're not, everybody's on their own thing, but whatever I can help you with, I can. Whatever you can help me with, we can. Even if it's not immediate monetary exchange, it's like connection stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that because it's not always just about money, but it really is. Like
Right. Yeah. But it's about building a system or a foundation. It's not a one-off thing.
right.
So, and that's the thing also with Vibranium, the three pillars. So it's not just the influencer part. The
Mm-hmm.
two other parts, when you bring them all together, you have something that will grow. So if you're earning VBX and you can spend it in the marketplace, which is other like-minded people. So the idea is to kind of like all rise together. And it's also global. So that's a huge part of it too. We haven't even really tapped into that, but
Mm.
this is trying to build a new international system of content and commerce.
Yeah, and you mentioned two things that I think are interesting. One, you said that these promotion requests are inbound. That somebody comes to you and says, I want you to promote this,
Mm.
and that's available because you have a platform, and that's awesome. The other thing that you said is that you were sort of like looking for opportunities to expand your capacity and do additional financial conversion opportunities. And
Mm-hmm.
one that that we think is sort of central to this thing we're trying to build is you don't necessarily have to already have a platform to participate in Vibranium, as long as you are able to move people towards things. It's not required for you to like get big enough that someone will notice you and like call your number. You can just get on and sign up to promote these things. But that also is useful for someone like you who already has a platform but wants to expand it, because if you wanted to say double your promotion, it's not necessarily that easy to double the amount of people who are calling you up and asking for these things. But you could get
Right.
onto Vibranium and just choose a bunch more sort of boundaries to take on, and so it gives you a bit more control over your own financial kind of destiny, because it's not like it's more of an outbound, like you can proactively go and find things that you're going to participate in and prove your worth that way, rather than to wait for people to sort of come to you and acknowledge your value, which you've already achieved, which is great. That's awesome.
I hear what you're saying for sure. Thank you. I hear what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
really dope.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Todd, yeah, I do remember you. I mean, I think last time I saw you, I probably hadn't made a single beat, but you definitely were an inspiration earlier.
And Pops.
Yeah, to check.
Yeah, Todd Banks. OG.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I guess like like Taj, if you don't mind, could you sort of just like talk about maybe like your day to day and kind of how do you like approach content and then like the money side of things too? Because I know for a lot of creators, it's like two two sides to the coin.
Yeah. I feel like me personally, I'm a little more weird with my approach because I don't really be on my phone in the like I don't really be on my phone like that. Like I spend a lot of time during my day. I play a lot of video games. Um, this is my full time, so it's kind of like I kind of use the excuse of just like, oh, I need some of my own time when I'm not making videos. But that's not really an excuse. You kind of do need time for yourself. But
Yep.
yeah, I kind of just like if I'm on when I'm on my phone, I'll be like, oh, that's a cool sound. It's trending. I like I said, I don't do trends, but I'll just go on my phone and just search. Okay, I heard this sound like 3 times today. Um, Let me do something different to it, but use the sound.
Mm.
And then I mean in my phone I have like a collection of a bunch of just sounds that I could use. But for me, the my I use the one specific sound for my brand per se, which is the I Get Crazy sound. It's the beat that I consistently use for the series. So like I have the dance battle series and I have other videos. Right now I'm still in the process. I'm still under a year within doing this, but I'm just now getting into the process of like, okay, let me film, and then I can just drop, okay, today let me just drop 3. I'm getting into a process now, I mean, as of this day and age, to get there so I can organize my stuff. Because right now I just kind of do it whenever I'm inspired to make a video, I'll make a video. And then the money side of it is TikTok has what's called the TikTok Creator Fund. And once you meet the requirements, I believe it's over 1,000 followers and over 30,000 views in the past month. You have to then when you're in that, then every view you get is like 0.0002 cents or something like that. Nothing crazy, but like, I mean, you posting 3 times a day. I mean, what you're supposed to do. You post 3 times a day. One of them is probably gonna do better than the others. You do that 7 days a week, you're gonna start making money. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You're not gonna start making full-time job money, but you're gonna start oh shoot, like I got an extra little 300 coming in this month. You know what I mean? Like, and then Instagram and Facebook, of course, together. Instagram and Facebook pays way more per view.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say an exact because it always changes, but they pay in what's called the Instagram bonus program. It's like for reels. So like, you have a regular post to Instagram TV or a reel. You know what I mean? And then the reels, those pop up all the time. You can't escape reels. And I guess, TikTok, Instagram are trying, I mean, Facebook, Instagram trying to get people from TikTok to Facebook and Instagram. So it's like the social media apps are having battles, so you just gotta keep up consistency to try to stay relevant on them because they're fighting for relevancy themselves. And yeah, so most money comes from like promotion opportunities. Like I charge this, so you're guaranteed to get that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just never a consistent amount of income you make per month doing this. So that's my day to day. I just see
Yeah.
what I want to do. If I want to, sometimes I don't even post every day because I don't feel like it,
Yeah.
but I need to get out of that. But
Yeah.
One of the we were both RJ and I were working in some capacity in the music industry when we came up with the idea for this. RJ
Mhm.
was a producer and DJ, and I was in music tech. And one of the things that I did as part of my work was I would research the current like reward structures on music platforms and like how like on Spotify, in order to make like minimum wage, you had to get like millions of views per month and
Mm.
an insane amount. And so like, you said on TikTok it's like 0.001, but on Spotify it's like 0.000001.
Yeah, it is.
Like like this idea came out of the acknowledgement that the infrastructure around sharing creative work has been facilitated by these huge platforms, but these platforms have been like taking more and more and more out of what is earned and giving less and less and less to the creators.
Mhm.
So that's like one of the prime examples of one of those systems that that blockchain tech in that it is sort of community owned almost by default, and it is trustless and not and authorityless almost by default, allows us to sort of challenge that and question that, and like our focus moved sort of away from music and towards influence only because of some of the just the way that society is going right now. But it's the same basic concept.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny hearing you just talk about that, and we got a few more people. We got some more people who might come up on stage in a second. But hearing you talk about that, it made me think of a way you could use Vfluence. And I wonder if you've ever thought about promoting someone's music or dancing to someone else's track. And I know you wouldn't want
Oh,
to
yeah,
dance.
I did that a couple of times.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Like, and the way we want it to work is we want it to fit with like an artist's sort of mindset. Like, I know you have to be in that state of mind to do what you do so well. And I think the idea of just being able to open something up and be like, oh, I actually like this song or I actually like this video. I want to just share this video. And then you see, oh, wait, I'm going to earn X amount for doing it. I think
Mm.
that's like the revolutionary thing, instead of having to like, switch to a whole different mindset. I want it to be kind of seamless where the money can be made right there. So yeah, I love it. I'm excited to definitely to when the beta's ready, definitely get you on there so you can try it
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. I'm definitely down for that.
All right, I'm gonna bring up my sister. Actually, she might even have I don't know, she might have a question for you, but she also has she's a social media content creator too. So let's see if
Okay.
she comes.
What up, Maya?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey there, hey there, hey there.
Hey
Sorry, my
there.
phone is about to die. I need a charger.
It's all good. I know this was very impromptu. I appreciate the Friday night the Friday night.
Oh, that's all good. I'll be in the crib. I'll be at home.
Yeah.
You need my
So
wallet?
wait, Maya, do you have any questions, or do you want to kind of talk about what you do and like how you or
Yeah, so I guess my thing is like I've been making comedy videos for probably like, I don't know, like 5, 6 years just for fun at first. And now I'm realizing like I'm like, great, everyone's making millions and here I am, like doing it. I put the effort in, we got the details. I think it out for like a week, and then so I guess my thing is I'm trying to figure out how to monetize that and how to. It's really obviously it starts with like consistency, and that's
Mhm.
one thing I've always lacked because very much like I have to be inspired. Like I have to find something where I'm like, oh, I can. That's like hilarious. Like that's something, but yeah. So I work at SNL. I do background, no lines, but to get there. So background and like working on that kind of set, it's very last minute, crazy. So that's something that I feel it's kind of like me, like when I make a video, it's not planned out at all.
Mm.
It's very much like I see, like same thing with TikTok trends. I'll try to hop on one, but then it's like, you don't want it to be like ungenuine.
Right, right.
To like the creative process of just natural, funny, whatever. And it's funny joining in on this chat tonight because I just made a video tonight and I kind of saw a trend of it. It's like a classic whatever, like like how Disney movies used to be, whatever, very corny,
Okay, I
blah
got you.
blah blah. But it's like I don't know. You spend so much time processing it and like trying to whatever find the funny beats, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, to be honest, I posted it and I don't know, 10 minutes in, I was like, yeesh, like 7 likes, like pretty
Yeah,
tough.
no, I know what you mean.
But it's like really funny. So it's weird because there was a time when I posted something. It's just the whole game per se is like you literally never know. Like I posted something I never wanted to be popular at all,
Right.
and all of a sudden, I don't know, 15K likes. I'm like, oh great, that's not the thing I wanted. Like
That's
whatever.
social media for you.
Yeah, and that's the tough balance of like being a creative. It's like you have all these ideas and your best idea could be totally thought out, like written out, whatever. And then the thing that you literally didn't put any effort into is the hit.
Goes crazy.
Yeah.
No, my biggest video was slapping a door stopper. I was
Oh.
making a beat to the door stopper, and it just
Oh, I
like
definitely know that video.
Oh,
30
yeah.
minutes.
I've
I know
definitely
that
seen that video
blew
too.
up.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that video.
Yeah, so yeah, no, like it just went crazy, man. It went crazy, and it was a trend from like 2019, and I was just like, yo, bro, remember people used to do videos like that? Let me do one. Did one. It started going stupid, and then that happened on Instagram a couple of times. I think it's just like Instagram. When you see like on your explore page, you see like 5 videos throughout the duration of the 24-hour day we have that have the same sound. You're like, dang, bro, I heard this sound like 8 times. Do a video to that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like, the thing. Keeping up, it's like tough because like I'll see like the thing that's happening, and I'm like, do I have something like good enough for that moment? And then it's like, like maybe, but then at the same time, something like super simple will be like, I don't know. I feel like it's really, it's just a weird world.
Like based off of like, because I don't even do this. I still have to follow this practice, but this is the practice I started with. Once you are consistently which is very freaking hard to do if you're trying
it's really hard.
When you're consistently posting at least 3 times a day on the most busiest times, after about a week or so, you're in the algorithm. Like you could post because like that's what happened to me when I first started TikTok last June. I looked online. How do you start getting your page busting on TikTok?
Yeah.
They were like, hey, post 3 times a day at least at the right times. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and the chart of
yeah, the little stupid chart. And it don't mean nothing, but it does. It does once the consistency starts rolling. And it even happens for me. Like 2 months ago, I had like a really big month of like views and new followers, but it was because I tried to. You know what I mean? It was because I actually was like, bro, I'm about to like clock into a 9 to 5 every morning, but just stand on my phone and make videos. Like, because once like it's really like you can't determine what's gonna go viral, right?
No, not at all. Yeah.
But so it's like the amount of stuff you have to potentially go viral can up the chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like one of the first ones for me, like on Instagram, and it's funny. I feel like I have the opposite thing. So TikTok is like known for like you literally like, oh, someone pushes a water bottle over, like viral, like whatever on TikTok. But for me, Instagram, I think during like the George Floyd era or whatever you want to call it, I just was making like whatever, like the what's the sound? The go Harry, whatever that sound.
Okay.
Which is the funniest sound ever.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was like the sound. And I feel like if I had made a video like even like 4 days later, it would have just been like whack, like you're too late. It's always about timing. And so that whatever I did a video with that sound about like, like George Floyd's like the cops getting arrested, whatever. And that was like, I don't know, probably the most I want to look up. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but probably like the most views I've ever gotten on a video. And then of course, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna make another video on a similar like basis, and like another like but it's just funny because I just did that to be like, oh, I'm gonna be on trend for like a hot second. Like I'm never on trend with it, and then I was like, okay. And I mean, the responses were negative and positive. Some people were like, like go kill yourself, like just like nuts, like whatever.
Right.
But it's just weird that like I've made a million videos where I literally am like detail. This was like a stupid thing where I'm like dancing around like oh like just stupid. And
I feel like
50,000 views, like just so ridiculous.
I feel like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you like, okay, I have a mini movie coming out tomorrow. That's something
Quick
that
plug.
is, I'm sorry.
Nothing. It's just a quick plug.
Oh, no, I was leading to something. So
I'm just
like,
joking. I'm just joking.
so like that, the quality and time put into that movie is over a month, like,
Mhm.
of consistent thought process. You know what I mean?
Right.
And actual action. But the amount of time you put into that, you like the stuff you put in more time to, that stuff you throw on YouTube, because that's the big breadwinner.
Yeah.
Getting monetized on YouTube, that's that one for, like, if you're looking to get paid from a platform, that's the one. But it's like the quirky ideas you have, like I call them toilet ideas. I'll be sitting on the toilet bowl and I'll be like, that's stupid, I should do that. And then I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's like 15 seconds, something dumb. And then I'm like, yo, what if there was a movie about this dude that did this, and this?
Yeah.
Let me write it. I'm not gonna, that TikTok don't deserve that. Instagram don't deserve that. They deserve clips of it. But that stuff goes to YouTube
Yeah, it goes
because
farther. Yeah.
it's, you know what I mean? So like, because the, like, people on Instagram and TikTok be on the toilet, be at their job, be getting their hair done. They just swiping real quick. Sometimes, even myself, sometimes I don't even want to see stuff about, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes deem myself an activist, but like sometimes I don't even want to see stuff about black rights and
No,
stuff.
no,
I'm like,
no.
well, dang, like,
No, I got a
let me
whole.
see
Yeah.
something funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you never know what mindset your however many followers are gonna be in. That's why
Yeah.
the little quirky, quick ideas, yeah, throw them on there. And even, okay, I don't have a sound or trending sound, but this is a funny idea. Let me record it and then draft it, and then see what sound I should put underneath it, and mute the sound so it'll
Yeah.
be, you know, on the trending soundboard, but you won't hear the sound. You'll hear my video.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. You know, but the intricate ideas, it's just gonna, like, for me, the intricate ideas you put on social media not meant to have your attention for too long.
Oh,
You
of
know what
course.
I mean?
No way.
So it's
I mean,
like, you
like, if
put
a
in all
video
that
isn't funny
energy.
within like 3 seconds, I'm like, even though it probably was
Yeah.
funny, I'm like, like moving right along. But
Even
it's
if you
funny.
play
Yeah.
it and then be like, oh wait, that was kind of funny, let me go back.
You bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah, like, because that's how short it be. So then, like, yeah, don't let yourself discourage yourself, because, like, dang, I put in mad time for that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
wasn't the
I'm
platform.
feeling
You know,
that
that's like,
today, actually.
trying to put out a rap. That's like trying to come out, you're opening for SZA and they're ready to vibe out, and you come out doing drill music as the opening act.
Yeah,
It's like,
pumping up the
well,
right crowd.
they're not here for drill music right now.
Read the room type of
Read the
thing.
room. You know what I mean? Social media is like that too. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
not about, you know, let me think, thought process,
Yeah.
intricate. What I noticed on social media, the real intricate thought process stuff is heavy on the, like, Photoshop editing or video editing stuff. It's like, yo, they just did some wild transitions. That's the stuff that's thought out, that gets what it deserves.
Yeah.
But like the other stuff that should be getting what it deserves, that's stuff you put on YouTube. You put the little quick stuff on Instagram, TikTok, you know?
No, definitely. And it's funny you brought up the whole so like I said, when I first got my, like, not viral, whatever it was, my notification of like more than like 100 people looking at a video, I tried on like the third video that I made, because, you know, I do comedy, and so I'm never really like heavy on like justice per se, you know, where it's gonna make someone uncomfortable and be like, oh, I don't want to follow this girl because I don't believe whatever.
Yeah.
But one of them I did, it was once again about, like, you know, Black Lives Matter, what was going on, but I put the video to like a Barney song, and so many people were like, this is so disrespectful, like, just like really, but it was like I was trying to lighten the mood of the seriousness. But some people, it's just like, it's once again, read the room, like, I guess some people got it and were like, no, it's like just trying to not make something bad good.
Yeah.
Because I know some people, like, especially during that whole time, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so sick of seeing it. Like, who wants to see another video? Because everyone's doing it. So,
but
yeah.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing sometimes. That just happened to me, like, what, last week? I just got a video that hit like 1 million in like a day or two on TikTok. And it was a sound. It was like wah, wah, like the screaming sound. If you have TikTok, you probably heard it. And
I think so.
A lot of people were using it. And I'm like, okay, that sounds disrespectful. I'm gonna push the envelope. So I used the sound, and I pulled up a picture. I have another phone. I pulled up a picture of Obama, and I said, when you go back in time and show your enslaved ancestors the first black president. And
Yeah, there's always a
people
way.
had a field day. He's not the first black president. What? Oh, but they didn't have iPhones
Is he
back then.
not? Since
It's
when?
like, bro, what? Regardless of there's a whole war going on in the comments still.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just getting the views. It's not too far. It's not gonna get banned. I ain't say nothing wrong. I ain't say nothing crazy. I knew they was gonna take that and run with that though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See,
I
when
knew they
I
was
did
gonna
that
have
thing,
something to say.
I had no clue. It was just kind of like play on words, like I don't know, whatever. But
that's
see,
good sometimes though, because you push the envelope a little bit.
The comment section helps. If you have a hot comment section, that video is gonna.
Yeah, I guess. But people are nutty, like just and whatever. But to comment on what you said with like being disappointed with something, like literally, what time is it? It's 9:41. Okay, so at 3 o'clock today, I started this video. Everyone, you can check it out on my page. I spent like 3 hours on it, and it's the algorithm thing. It just never makes sense to me, to the whatever. And maybe 5 o'clock on a Friday isn't it prime time? Because I know when you look at it, like, oh, people are getting out of work, people are at whatever, like out to dinner. And I was just like, geez, like this was a real hit, but like it wasn't per se.
I mean, do you believe in deleting it and reposting it in another day?
I can't. I have, but I feel like once you get like the natural like ha-has, you can't.
But if you're going for algorithm, you have your followers, and then there's gonna be like, because I've done that like 10 times. Right. I'll post something, I'll be like, that ain't hit.
I know, yeah.
And then I'll post it like a day later at like 8 a.m. Goes stupid.
No, yeah, a lot of my friends
I knew it, you know.
But I feel like it just, maybe it's just because I'm not like an influencer, like. But I guess I love
but you are if you want to be. If you want to be an influencer, then you're working towards being an influencer to live up to what you want to be.
No, I know.
So you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. It's just tough because I'm like, I put it out there, I like it fresh and natural. And then I'm like, ooh, it's not yet.
Well, here's
you can't go for perfect.
Yeah, you can't be perfect. And also it's really all about timing. And it's actually while this conversation is happening, like Garrett is literally, this is his expertise level too. Just like what content does well, it's timing, and this is why it's a full-time job, because you got to it's like double dutch, you know.
One of the best time frames is 5 in the morning.
Wow.
On TikTok, because I mean, think about it. People roll over.
They
on
wake
their
up,
bed to go at 6:30, pick up their phone before they get ready at 5:20.
And all the comments are always like, "Who's here at 6 a.m.?" Like it's so. I'm like, geez.
I do it myself. I wake up, fart, whatever, grab my phone, go on TikTok for 2 seconds, and then use the bathroom. You know what I mean? It's like it happens. It's the world we live in. Like,
yeah. So I mentioned earlier, but I work at Snapchat in content strategy, and my job is to analyze content and try to figure out when it does well, why it does well. So I figure out what makes people connect to content, what makes people want to like it, what makes people want to watch more of it. And earlier, Taj, you mentioned that you only have about, I think Maya mentioned that you only have about 3 seconds to grab somebody's attention, but I've done analysis on that, and it's even shorter. It's like,
oh, definitely.
It's like 1 second to sort of grab somebody's attention.
Definitely.
And yeah, the time that you post, like, not to get into any details about algorithms because I don't want to get fired, but like the time is important because it affects who sees it first, and who sees it first affects how.
And I just say that for myself because I know, like, when I'm on TikTok, like when I'm at work, I'm just like, I feel like TikTok has ruined my brain just because that's all I hear all day is TikTok. But I did it today, and like, I skipped something because it didn't load within a second, but like it looked funny, but I was just like, like next. And then I could have went back, but I just kept going. And it was just because it was quick, it's just,
That's what that text be for. That text right there, you guys say something juicy in that text because they have it eye level to where when they scroll. Oh, yesterday you went to the dentist and some guy tried to grab my shoe off. What? Let me watch the rest of this.
Yeah. No, speaking of dentists, the one I saw today was like, why I'll never bring my daughter back to this dentist. Like
you're gonna watch
in a thing that's like, whatever, like trigger warning, like whatever. And I'm like, whoa, like, of course, I don't know. I'm interested all of a sudden on something disturbing.
I mean, the news, breaking news. Everybody's like, what? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You got to make it
man.
feel like that.
I
Hey,
hate that
breaking
it's
news.
such
I
a
just posted.
science. It's like,
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, but it is like, this is like, it's about being in the conversation too. And I think that's like, Taj, that's probably, you know, because you use TikTok a lot. You have to be almost an addict of the platform, I think, to really hit those numbers. Because you got to know just instinctually, like what pops off, what are the jokes people are making. Like that Obama one, that is, I probably saw that too. I've probably seen so many of your videos and didn't even know it. But like that's the perfect type of joke. Like going back in time is a classic. Like you used a lot of elements there that, yeah.
Undeniable things, but you use facts, but it's enough facts about a topic that could make somebody be like, ah. My very first video over 1 million, I said, when you go out over a trending sound that it had nothing to do with the sound, but I said, when you're about to leave, but you forget your wallet, but the police will kill you anyway for no reason, so you just go. And that video went crazy. And of course, everybody has something to say, but am I wrong? Like, you know what I mean? You could
where's
get
the
clapped for no
lie?
reason. Like, for real. The little, did I push your button, but I didn't do too much, did I? Like my post. You know what I mean? That's a easy one, like almost controversial, but you let everybody else be the politics. You just put the information out there and don't respond, no comments. Just let the world go crazy. It'd be like, that's always gonna work.
Yeah. All right. So I think like I gotta make sure that if people have any more questions, throw it in the chat. But this has been great, guys. Definitely really appreciate.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dodge. Thank you, Maya.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
For sure, anytime. But yeah, I followed everyone, so like, yeah, just hit me and keep me posted on what's moving and shaking. You know,
Awesome.
I'll be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yes, love to be a part.
We're getting you both on the beta as soon as.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Thank you guys so much. It's been a great like random night, but it's awesome.
Right.
this and you know we'll share it. We might edit it down. Who knows? I don't know if anyone.
A lot of yak.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information in
A lot of
this.
chit chat.
Yeah. Really appreciate this because this is like exactly a conversation, and I think like you guys actually kind of made me think of some things just about how, you know, how it's about timing, how it's about being in the conversation and like being in the moment.